Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. More Blood and Plunder here as we work our way through the native commanders. Today we got a cheap one, and that is Captain Peter. So pretty basic as far as his stats go. Has a couple interesting abilities which seem to be a theme here for the native commanders. He is another one that can lead a Carib force. He's only 15 points, right? So that does make him a little bit viable in some of the smaller games. You don't have to necessarily have a larger game with larger force where some of these higher cost characters would start to make sense, right? We don't want to necessarily spend like 30 plus points on a character if we're just playing a very small game. That's a lot of points that could be spent on units and stuff instead. But anyway, has a standard melee weapon and a pistol. And again, as with Captain Tabari, just that very minimal 8-inch command range. But again, that's kind of geared towards the force here because they're going to rely on a lot of close-up work here. So probably will be best if you keep your forces somewhat concentrated just to do what they do best, basically make the most of them. So 8-inch command range, still a 16-inch bubble, so it's not like we're literally bunched up with that. 2 command points, and then Great Warrior and Delay Tactics. So we've seen Great Warrior with Tabari. Interesting ability. Basically, we can pay the unit that we join, first of all, cannot be inexperienced. And then we, at least at the start of the game, we can pay a point per model in the unit to upgrade them to War Captain, so an interesting little buff there. And you factor in some of the units that the natives have access to, that can be pretty cool, because what War Captains will do is once per turn you can apply a -1 bonus to a test that they take. So great for shooting perhaps, great for combat if you think about the potentials there, if you can get things into the right sort of range bands to make that really nasty. You can have a pretty potent unit with that. Now, Delay Tactics is a new one that we've seen, and interesting one. Without having played these yet, not sure how super effective it is because it's still a kind of a gamble. You're spending a command point to do it, and then you have to be really close to the opponent to do that. So basically, if you're within 8, I believe, of an enemy commander, you can spend a command point of yours, so one of your 2 precious command points, and essentially trick them into negotiating with you. What that means is you got to roll a d10 on a 7 or better. The enemy commander is fooled, and basically that enemy commander cannot use command points that turn. Pretty cool in the fact that we have an ability here that sort of debuffs the enemy and turns off their command points, which depending on what the enemy commander and force is and maybe the situation, certainly not having access to the command points can be pretty nasty. But that being said, you got to get really close to pull this off. And then, again, it's still a die roll. So, I mean, yes, you can buy yourself rerolls with like a fortune point or something like that. But that's a lot of things that are, again, putting your commander's unit in close proximity to the enemy commander, which they probably will have some other units around them too. And again, could be pretty nasty, especially if you fail. You better hope that you're doing some serious damage to whatever's close to you, the enemy commander's unit, etc., just so that you don't get wiped out in return. But I could see, certain situations where it'd be pretty interesting. Maybe the enemy commander's unit got a little too aggressive, is a little bit separated from his forces, maybe has gotten isolated through some clever maneuvering on your part and causing damage to them. And then you just kind of like pull this off if you get lucky, right? Hey, they don't get command points for the turn. Maybe that really helps or prevents them from getting fatigue shaken off, and maybe just leads you to putting on more casualties, fatigue, and getting them to maybe shake or rout or something like that. So I can definitely see the upsides of it. It's just, again, it's a lot of risk. But overall, pretty interesting character. Again, not too many points, so just some interesting abilities here. Great Warrior does seem like a really cool one, though. Let us know in the comments, guys, if you've run a Carib force with Captain Peter and how that's gone for you. Have you had a memorable moment where Delay Tactics has come into play? Let us know in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe. We'll have more Blood and Plunder for you very soon. Thanks for watching.